Sammy missed a penalty. Carlos Martinez right after that. So we could have been 2-0 up, but we weren't. And then right after half time, we got 4 guys around the ball and we don't clear it. And then we're pushing forward trying to get the equaliser. And then the 86th minute, 87th minute, they score. So very disappointing. But it was a good performance, So it's important that we finish off, especially at home for our fans, and see what we can do. But we have a couple of injuries. Alex Mangles pulled his quad last week, and David Abador has accumulation of points. So we're out those 2 tonight. So we're a little thin on the ground, but David will be back for Saturday. But let's try to get a result tonight.
Swope Park Rangers, we know all about them because it was a couple of weeks ago we were up there and they beat us, 3-0. They look a good side down the wings, attacking. I'm sure you've been aware of that and the guys are aware of that.
Well, they got a lot of pace. Dane Kelly's been in the league a number of years. He's very quick. They've got pace wide. They're good. They're a good, solid side. They're where they are for a reason. And I think the games that we've played. We were up there a couple of weeks ago. We got off to a bad start, but after that we competed. But the other 2 games, we were in those games. So hopefully we can continue. They had a great result Sunday against OKC. So I'm sure their tails are up and they'll be looking to continue their winning streak and move up that table for the playoffs.
Well, that's right, because they need a win to get in that top 4, don't they? So does that add a little bit of extra spice for you to be party spoilers?
Oh, sure. There's no love lost between any of us, that's for sure. And obviously the top 4 get a home game, and that's very important for everyone in the playoffs. So they've got us tonight, and I think they've got a game on Saturday. So it's in their hands, but maybe we could be a spoiler. And then we've got Sacramento on Saturday that they must win and they could win the whole division. So it'd be nice to be a factor and put someone in our cap, in our feather in our cap, as you might say, for the last 2 games.
Now, I've enjoyed being with you guys on the road. I've enjoyed getting to know you, and I know you're a man who does not make excuses. Apart from maybe a couple of games I'm thinking of, do you feel that the story of the season has been that you've been in every game?
I can sit here and say we've competed in most of the games, but we've lacked. We've lacked that final little bit of quality in the right areas, and we've beat ourselves. Obviously, one of the areas that we tried to secure from last year was defensively, and that didn't happen. And last year we had 6-7 players scored 6 goals. That hasn't happened. So it's been a very, very difficult year. But there's no excuses. That's football. We've got to try to steady the ship and regroup and prepare for next year.
And are the guys still motivated? I mean, do you have to get them off for games, or are they just going out there and playing?
No, that's I think that's the if you look at myself and the staff, I think we put a little bit of stock in that we've done well keeping them at the races. It'd be very difficult to lose a lot of players along the way. We have a small group, a tight group, and it's still a game, and you're still gonna have fun. And they're out last night. We're doing clinics with the kids, and last week we had a clinic. So they're still here, and hopefully they perform the last 2 games for themselves first of all, whether it's for Tulsa or somewhere else. All these games are on YouTube. It doesn't hurt yourself in any shape or form, and especially for our fans. I think that's the most disappointing thing for me, for our fans and our ownership group. Because they put a lot of effort into this, a lot of work into this, and. Sometimes the second year is tougher than the first, but as I say, I'm not one for making excuses. It's been a long season for me personally. It's probably the hardest I've ever had in my career, but that's football, that's life, that's there's a lot of bumps in the road, peaks and valleys, so we got to get on with it, but I'll never lie down, and I hope that the players and so far they haven't learned out for me. They've been here for training every day, and they've tried to make a fist of it every game that we've played, and that's all you can ask.
Well said, sir. We're all behind you tonight.
Thank you, sir.
You're listening to Tulsa Roughnecks Soccer.
Fans, here are the officials for tonight's match. The referee is Brooke Weiss. Assistant referees are Michael Kapp and Matt Trotter, and the fourth official is Jeremy Crockett. And now here are your Tulsa Roughnecks FC. Tonight's reserves are Alex Mangles, Irla Davarin, David Abador, Bryce Taylor, Gus Villalobos, Chase Minter, Brady Ballou, and Hunter Harrison. The Roughnecks are led by head coach David Irving, assisted by Tom Taylor, Mac Orr, and Ryan Ego, and joined by athletic trainer Kobe Smith and the team physician Dr. John E. Ariala. And now for your Tulsa Roughnecks starting 11. The goalkeeper is number 25, Jake Feener. Defender number 22, Edgar Espinoza. Defender number 16, Isaiah Schaefer. Defender number 21, Devin Morgan. Defender number 2, Gary Chenerazzo. Midfielder number 20, Jason Ramos Carpio. Midfielder number 11, Carlos Martinez. Midfielder number 13, Raymond Lee. Midfielder number 10, Kaleem. Midfielder number 14, Christian Mata. And forward number 9, Sammy Ochoa. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise, remove your caps, and stand at attention for our national anthem. Tonight, we fight for our city, the pride of Tulsa, to honor a game that we love, the world's game. The blueprint is set. The fans, the team, the city, your city.
Also, Roughnecks Soccer here at your home for the Roughnecks 1300 The Buzz here in Tulsa. I am Jeremy Poplin, joined by one Dave Saunders as we get set to bring you action tonight from One Oak Field here inside the Bank of Oklahoma broadcast booth at One Oak Field. Bank of Oklahoma is proud to present the return of outdoor professional soccer to this city of Tulsa. And one final note as we get set for the broadcast this evening, the weather here at kickoff is 85 degrees, and it has been quite the heat wave over the past several days here in Tulsa. 90-plus degrees the last several days. We're expected to be in the 90s throughout the rest of the week. And the final game here on Saturday will be 90 degrees with a chance of rain. And then, just magically, Dave Saunders, we jump down to 75 and 67 the next 2 days. So that should make you feel a little bit more at home. But right now it's 85 degrees, and tonight's weather forecast is provided by the News on 6 Chief Meteorologist Travis Meyer. Well, there's David Irving, there's Tom Taylor, and there's the staff in from Swope Park with Mark Dos Santos as the head coach, as this side has already clinched a playoff spot, currently sitting in 5th right now in the Western Conference of USL. And this is a rematch of a game that happened just a couple of weeks ago on September 10th, in which Swope Park got the victory over the Tulsa Roughnecks. There's Zach Lubin, the former Tulsa Roughneck. You could see him clapping there as he looked at some of the roustabouts that are in attendance here this evening. There's Dane Kelly, one of the most dangerous men in all of the USL, getting prepared to go this evening with the Roughnecks, taking possession here during the opening kickoff. Settle in and welcome in to downtown Tulsa as we have coverage for you here on YouTube and on 1300 The Buzz with the Roughnecks and Swope Park Rangers. And quickly a ball played inside the box is cut down there and sent forward. It is settled near midfield and played wide to the outside. Here's Pasher. He has been a problem for the Roughnecks. To Alvarado, played back out to the outside for Pasher. Nice step over move. Tried it one more time, battling there against Espinoza, and Espinoza ends up winning it. Here's a ball forward, just over the halfway line, has options to the outside to Carpio. It's Sammy Ochoa. Ochoa, one-touch ball, clears it to the opposite side. Kaleem on a dead run. Gets there in time, cuts by the byline, and Kaleem just loses control of it. That was a glorious opportunity here in the early going, as Kaleem just had the little touch there outside around the outside defender, Tommy Meyer. And if he could have been able to maintain control of that on the byline, we could have had an early scoring opportunity for the Roughnecks.
And Kaleem continues his good work, Pop. He has played really well. He likes to play on the left, but he does crop up down the middle on the right. He won the penalty early on down in San Antonio, and he, for me, has really kept going and played really well, and he caused San Antonio a lot of problems. Just one thing that Swope Park absolutely did so well against us was obviously Chris Tierpak and Tyler Pasha. They played with two wide men and then put the Jamaican Dane Kelly up front. You've got a pretty potent front three. So big work for Espinoza and Chenaratsu.
And there's trying to go down the center of the field one more time. It is cut off there by Espinoza. Ball played up past the halfway point. You talked about Tierpak and what a goal that was for him in that game on September 10th up in Kansas City. An absolute screamer from the outside that there was not a goalkeeper in the world that was going to be able to get to that one in the proper time. And just a terrific shot from a man that's had a lot of success against the Roughnecks, even when he was spending time with the Austin Aztecs last season.
Yeah, it was a tremendous goal. I mean, I spoke to David about that. I said, pretty good strike, David, wasn't it? And typical coach, he said, yeah, but my players stood off him. You know what I mean? It was in his blunt sort of Northern English way. But yeah, I spoke to Gary Chenaratsu actually pre-game, and he is really relishing this, Gary. He said, I'll look after him. Let's see if he can.
There's Walefi. Has that pass taken away. Here's Kaleem, one touch there. Bounces back to Kaleem on the outside edge and just speed there, getting back to win this ball. And he will turn and face now, has some options, and will dump it off to Zach Lubin. Bozeman, Montana native. Simple pass to the outside, founds Ballo. Steps over here. Back now, back across the back line. Dribbling forward through the infield here. Sod has been laid down for some time now here at 1-0 Field. The ball from the back line, playing it over the top, looking for Dane Kelly as he runs onto this one from the corner. This will be a Swope Park ball from almost in the deepest part of the field here at 1-0 Field. It will be a throw.
Well, I know we've only played 3.5 minutes, but this is a far better start than the Roughnecks made up at Swope Park. They were absolutely done down both wings. I remember that night we were playing 3 at the back and quickly changed it to a flat back 4. So well done to Espinoza Gary Chinoratsu and the centre backs as well, because they've made a good start.
Ball dumped forward from Ochoa. Mata was in the area. By the way, our referee tonight is Brooke Weiss, along with Michael Kapp and Matt Trotter, the assistants, and the fourth official this evening is Jeremy Crockett. Swope Park has taken victory in each of the 3 previous meetings between these two sides, including a 2-1 win way back on April 2nd, and that seems like an eternity ago. Espinoza with a nice touch there to get in front of that ball that was played forward, and off of the back line, dangerous situation there, and there's an early goal. And look who it is one more time, it's Tierpak. And give credit to Christian Duke there, because Christian Duke, who's down in the box and looks like he's in a significant amount of pain, caused all of that havoc right there. And Jake Feener left the friendly confines of the 6-yard box and went to the outside, and he was caught out of place. And the cross that is put in with the header by Chris Tierpak, and now we've got to wonder what is going on with Christian Duke, and is he able to continue on?
Yeah, got a bit of a knee injury, I think, Pop, but I'm going to look at the replay. Here's Jake Feener, took a heavy first touch, then went in for like a centre-back's tackle, poked the ball. Alvarado there into the box, perfect cross, and Tierpak just heads home. And, you know, Jake will know by his standards that he could have done better there, but it all came from a bad first touch. And the Roughnecks find themselves in familiar territory, 1 down.
Duke is still down. He is being attended to by the athletic training staff for Swope Park.
And that's what David Irving calls giving away a soft goal. And he said it week in, week out, and he said we've got to stop doing it. And it's one of those things that it happens, but, you know, maybe it's happened a lot, too often, and well, familiar territory is all I can say. They've got to come from behind. Christian Duke seems to be walking away there. I didn't quite see what happened there. I guess it was in the challenge from Jake Feener, was it, Pop?
I think it was, and he's their local presence for this team. Overland Park, Kansas, and he was named captain of the club ahead of the season opener. He was their first ever signing for the Swope Park Rangers. And there's the man that just gave Swope Park the league, Chris Tierpak, who has become accustomed to scoring goals here at One Oak Field. Had 2 in his debut at One Oak Field last year playing for the Austin Aztecs. It's his 6th goal and 6 goals now on the season, and also has 1 assist this season so far as well. So Chris Tierpak continuing on his fantastic play against the Tulsa Roughnecks.
Yeah, Chris Tierpak, I mean, a handful for anybody. And obviously his goal takes Swope currently up into 4th place as we look at the live table, above Los Dos. And that would be good enough if obviously results, you know, in the last game on Saturday go the way for Swope Park to have a home game in the playoffs. But a long way to go, of course, a lot of football to be played.
Here's Espinoza that was way up off of the back line for the Roughnecks. Number 22. Zach Lubin now with the goal kick. Will back away from it. Changed his mind here at the last moment and sends it forward. Header there by Espinoza up to Carpio. Carpio, 1 touch to Edgar. Edgar's ball is hacked down, still on the boot of Martinez. Martinez, a nice ball forward. Header back there from Mata, finds Ochoa. Ochoa decided to let it go from way on the outside. Not much on it, though, with the left-footed shot. It's knocked away there. Tierpak now with control. Plays it back to Tommy Meyer. Meyer sends forward. And the Roughnecks now will try to bring this ball back down near midfield, and they do so. To turn in a square ball. That's Martinez with Isaiah Schaefer. Now Morgan. Morgan, 1 dribble forward, a long ball towards the corner, looking for Chinorazzo. Kaleem spins away from any pressure. Devin Morgan now. Roughnecks focusing most of their attention on that far sideline right in front of the bench. Nice ball from Kaleem, plays toward the center, but miscommunication there. Ochoa was going to his right. Swope Park sends forward on the long ball. Back from the back line. That's one area they've been really impressive so far. Dane Kelly to Pasher. Pasher now has an overlapping run on the outside, gives it there. It's there. And just like that, they take the 2-0 lead here in the 9th minute.
Well, first of all, the long ball was played, and of course, Dane Kelly's a potent weapon. He's so quick, but he had the sense to lay the ball off. Here, he got control of it. He lays it off here to Tyler Pasher. Pasher draws the central defender over, Morgan, but look at the overlapping run there.
Alvarado with another great run, and he plays it right in there.
And I think it was Dane Kelly, rather than the defender, who got the last touch pop. And, you know, that's outstanding play from the left back. But you'd have to question one of the Roughnecks for not tracking the run. 2-0.
And what looked like at least a promising start here in the opening moments has turned to a nightmare scenario for Tulsa. Here's Carpio. A little fancy there from right at the edge of the 18 there, trying to spin off of Alvarado. Unable to do so as he loses track of the ball. Here's Dane Kelly providing some pressure for Swope Park. Tulsa has to find a way to settle back into this game, continue to play their style. Generato on good service there. Mata calling for it, leaves it off for Ochoa. Ochoa now lets one go from outside. Easy there for Zach Lubin, who just tracked that ball from the outside. Not much on it there from number 9, Ochoa.
But what great play leading up to the shot from Ochoa.
And an even better look from Mata.
Yeah. You know, that was really good play. And Gary Generato, who just, for me, never, ever gives up. And he's had to wait on the sidelines. He's playing in left back. He was telling me back in Scotland, he played there for 4 years, so he's quite happy on the left and loves to get forward. Had a good game down in San Antonio as well. And he is someone will never, ever give up and give everything he's got.
There's Ray Lee. Backs off of this ball inside the box now. It is 2-0 as we are in the 11th minute. There's a foul in favor of Tulsa.
Yeah, heads down a little bit, obviously, if you go 2 down early on, you know, but they've got nothing to lose, as we know. They didn't have anything to lose before they started a game. Now they've really got to see what they're made of. You know, we don't want this to you know, concede a third now. We've just got to steady the ship and hope we can get back in it and get back to 2-1.
Yeah, here's Schaefer from almost at midfield. Line drive driven ball. Right there in the area of the D. It is headed out of the box by Gidic. Espinoza now looking for a ball from one of the ball kids here. That little guy there has to make sure that he gets out of the way. As Espinoza with the long throw in. Ochoa gets just a portion of it as he tries to flick it towards the back post. Lubin tracks it down though. Sammy with 10 goals on the season, leading goal scorer for the Roughnecks. Also the leading assist man with 6.
Yes, and he cheekily asked me if he could have the assist. He said, did I get the assist in the Rio Tinto for Christian Matter? And I said, I think so, Sammy. And then I think that everything was changed because it did come off a defender. So they took one away from him, but Sammy had a smile on his face when he asked me.
You know, that is the most asked question by everyone when they get on the bus is, did I get that assist?
And they expect us to know, don't they?
Yeah, they absolutely do. You will have to take that up with the USL office.
Right.
This team has struggled to find the back of the net over the last several games. Here's Isaiah Schaefer, who joined late this season from the Pittsburgh Riverhounds.
And I would say has been one of the, you know, successes this season. You look for bright spots of the season. I think those 2 centre-backs, you know, have come in and done really well. And that's with respect to, you know, Matt Watley, who's you know, from Wales, who's played this season as well there. You know, David Abador's played back there. These 2 young men have come in and done a pretty good job. even though we conceded a lot of goals, you know, it's not as many as perhaps we would have conceded.
Alvarado was a little slow to get up there. He got looked like hacked in the back of the leg there from Espinoza. Morgan settles with the chest, pops this one directly into the air. Pasher with the header finds Dane Kelly. Kelly tries to link up with Pasher, who continued on with his run here and now settled near midfield. Walefi. Ball forward from Walefi. Fiener out the edge of the box. Corrals it as he waits and shields off. Tierpak was the closest man there.
He would have been offside as well, I think.
Yes, he would have.
Again, in the modern game, the assistants are told to keep their flags down as long as possible until a man, you know, the man in the offside position runs towards the ball.
Ballo went over the top of the back of Mata. Off the back line, here's another ball played in, trying to go over the top. This time Jidic has it easily. From midfield, Pasher, who is pacey there on the outside wing. Turns and faces, cuts back towards the byline, left-footed ball, nice cross there. It's almost knocked into the back of the Roughnecks net. Had a golden opportunity, but it bounces free, and here comes Tulsa. Tulsa had numbers for just a brief moment. Now Swope Park settling back in. Sammy Ochoa, one touch to Ray Lee. Chinarazzo has Mata there right at the edge of the 18 calling for it, and instead they'll try to find Ochoa inside the box, and one of the players, Alvarado, hit the deck. He is holding his mouth.
I think he collided with his own defender, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think Sammy Ochoa was involved.
From here, it looks like he's holding his collarbone. From our angle, it looked like he was holding almost his chin. We'll see here on the replay.
I think it was his defender.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. It was Ballo who came through and hit him right there on the edge of the collarbone, right there with the point of the elbow. And I can tell you that hurts.
Yes, not nice, is it? But he's okay. They're up again, and they're leading 2-0, so they can't be feeling too bad, can they? The Roughnecks, you know, they're just slowly getting into this game. By the way, that's a good defensive clearance again from Gary Chinarazzi back in his own box there over Tierpak, and then they broke pretty well, and they had men over, as you said, with Kaleem on the left. That's Carpio with the foul there, bringing down Yvette Alvarado from Honduras. He had a very steady game at left back, and again, like Chinarazzi, likes to get forward, as in the modern game, left and right backs have to get forward in the modern game, and he loves getting forward on that left-hand side. As does Maya, who's in a very advanced position on the right over on that far side from us as well.
Walefi's ball to the inside, Pasher. Walefi one more time directing traffic. Here's Tierpak. Little chip on sides, and off is Dane Kelly. That was going to be close. It was a brilliant ball there from Tierpak, trying to locate the goal scorer, Dane Kelly, for what would have been goal number 2, but the linesman's flag is up, or the assistant's flag is up, and offsides is Swope Park.
Do you know what? I'd love to know what the 25-year-old from Jamaica, Dane Kelly, can do for the 100 metres. You know, I mean, Jamaica are obviously very famous for its sprinters. A gentleman by the name of Usain Bolt, for example. But I mean, he is so quick, and he got the third goal, you know, in the home game, and outpaced the back 2 centre backs very easily.
Unlucky there is Tulsa, as this will result in a throw-in now for Swope Park. We're in the 18th minute. Tulsa trailing 2-0.
Just looking at that replay again, Pop, and I have to say that was a close call, that last run from Dane Kelly.
It was. It absolutely was. Here's Ochoa. Ochoa tripped down from behind, and that's going to be a PK.
Well, refereeing, no doubt. No complaints from the defenders. I think one of them might be going over to have a word with the referee, but the referee right there. Sammy got inside, you know, the defender there, and it'd be interesting to see, is he going to take it? Yes, he is. And, you know, once you get in front of the defender, there's always a chance they're going to clatter into your legs and go over. And can Sammy Ochoa do it this week when he couldn't do it last week, Pop?
Yeah, that's clear PK there. That's Jidic, and Jidic even had a handful of the jersey there as Ochoa turned around from behind him and Sammy kind of slowed his pace a little bit there. Christian Duke went over to make his case for this, but here's Ochoa looking for goal number 11 and a chance to bring them back within 1. Sammy stalking, Zach Lubin in the net. Here's Ochoa. Ochoa's ball slams into the back of the corner, and Ochoa, number 9, has goal number 11 on the season for the Roughnecks. And they have pulled back within 1 here on the penalty kick, and Sammy Ochoa converts just like you need the captain to do.
It takes a brave, brave man to step up the next game when you've just had one saved. And I think somebody else was trying to take the ball. I didn't see who it was. And Sammy said, no, this is mine. He tucked it under his arm. He put it down. He was up against an old colleague of his in Zach Lubin, who's probably faced a few Sammy Ochoa penalties. And Lubin, by the way, did go the right way. But Sammy hit this one a lot better than he did last week. And well done to him. It's a brave, brave person to do that. 11 goals on the season. Good on you, captain. Game on.
And that breathes a little life back into the Roughnecks here, and here they have a takeaway near midfield. It is the captain one more time. Carpio to the outside, Ray Lee inside. Sprays it out wide to Kaleem. Just outside the 18, Kaleem now cuts towards the byline. Oh, good opportunity there that is wasted by Kaleem. He had a runner coming through the center of the box, and Christian Mata. Kaleem, that was going to be an extremely difficult angle for Kaleem to make anything happen with that ball that he tried to put on frame, as you see the replay here of the goal from Sammy Ochoa.
Well, last week he went right. This week he went to the keeper's left, and he struck it much better than he did last week. And in that last attack, Kaleem did all the hard work. But if you notice, there were 7 blue shirts back in the area. Good defending from Swope Park, who won't want the next goal to go to Tulsa now, as we really have a game on. But well done for Tulsa for getting back in this.
There's fighting there in the center of the pitch, and boy, Dane Kelly, and a good ball forward from Mata. Mata now, oh, just over the top of the crossbar as Christian Mata had a chance there. What a brilliant ball from the back line. Looking for that searching ball forward. Mata raced onto it and just narrowly missed tying up this game.
This might sound a strange thing to say, but I think Christian Mata almost got too much on that. He needed to maybe just chip the keeper. We'll see it again here, Pop, but I think maybe if he just tried to go for a chip rather than hit it, I think he might have beaten Lubin.
I think that ball from the back was from Carlos Martinez.
And Lubin stands at 6'5" as well, don't forget. So, but good opportunity for Christian Mata, who, of course, still scored the last goal from open play for the Roughnecks.
Still difficult to be in that instance and know exactly what type of ball that you're going to have to hit. There's another overlapping run there from Alvarado as Pasher plays it. And this one now will be a goal kick.
And that, Pop, is what Carpio's got to do. It's hard for the young man, and I wouldn't want to be in his position, but he's got to help out Edgar Espinazo, because you know, with Alvarado coming up from left back, there's always 2-on-1, and then Carpio's got to do it. He's got to get back there. And I remember this happened when we played Swope Park before, and I remember Gary Chenaratsu had his hands full, you know, with the two of them. Someone from the midfield has to do that job.
Well, and that's a pretty potent combination that they have there, because Pasher has a lot of pace as well. We've already seen Alvarado, what he has on the dead sprints. You combine Dane Kelly with that as well, and that's exactly where Swope Park should be attacking Tulsa right now, especially if Carpio is not going to be in the position to get back and help.
Yeah, it's the kind of 4-2-3, you know, 4-2-3-1 that the Roughnecks play, and Christian Mata's kind of the number 9 tonight. Sammy Ochoa's just playing in that number 10 role, and Carpio's the right of the 3, Kaleem's the left, and they've just got to get back and help the backs, else they are exposed. With, you know, and like you say, with the pace of someone like Pasha, you know, you've got to go and help him out. You've got to help your teammates out. It's hard, it's not easy, but you've got to do it, especially when you're 2-1 down as well.
Here's Alvarado.
Here we go again.
Has Pasher here. Tracking over to help out was Martinez. Now that means Carpio slid over to the center. Here's Carpio now back out to the outside, but Walefi using as much space, and so is Alvarado, almost out to the outside edge of the touchline. They will play back now and try to go to the opposite side of the pitch. Here's a little bit of press now provided from Kaleem. Lubin hammers this one forward, and Pasher's going to get to it in time to save it. Directly in front of Espinoza, Pasher now to the inside, and there's a foul by Espinoza as those two get tangled up. So just outside of the 18 by about 10 yards. This foul now by Tulsa gives Swope Park an opportunity here.
But I don't mind that. I don't like to see fouls in the game, don't get me wrong, but I don't mind that from Espinoza because he stayed with him. And okay, he's dragged him down by the shoulder, but he stayed with him. And he didn't give the lad a free run on goal. They've got to defend this free kick now. And we haven't said much about Ayrton, have we, the Brazilian? He might strike one here, Pop, from the number 45.
Referee has the wall that is set up. Ball played inside the box there, handled easily by the Roughneck defense. Not a great clearance, though. And Sammy Ochoa back on the back line to help head that one away out of the danger area.
That's good defending from the Roughnecks. Now they hold a high line.
Yeah, here's Meyer on the ball forward as Feener came out. Jidic was forward, who was challenging Feener on this. Here's Mata. Mata leads for Carpio. Carpio now setting himself up with the left, has a go. That one comes off of the deflection off of Lubin. Ochoa tries to settle and cannot keep it in bounds before it heads over the byline. But a good opportunity there for the Roughnecks here in the 26th minute.
Yeah, well done, Carpio there. We talked about, you know, having to get back and defend, but he's certainly not afraid to get forward. Of course, that's his main job tonight. And that came onto his left foot, and he hit a good shot, which Lubin couldn't hold. Lubin pushed away, and then there was a bad touch from Sammy Ochoa. But that long ball over the top to the chest of Christian Mata is a potent weapon tonight for the Roughnecks. I'm just watching a replay here, and Carpio hits it well. Lubin goes down to his right and saves well. 2-1. And it's a good game, my friend.
It is a good game, which we were a little bit concerned about on the opening after trailing 2-0. That one goal has energized the Roughnecks. Don't forget, Nike's a proud partner of the USL. You can follow at Nike Soccer on Twitter for all the latest Nike soccer information. From the deep corner of the byline, cuts back to the inside, is hacked out of play there as Devin Morgan stepped in front of that one, and this will be a corner now coming up for the Swope Park Rangers, leading 2-1 here in the 27th minute.
Really important the Roughnecks defend this properly. Jake Feener, we could do with him, you know, having a good catch of the ball here. They've left Christian Mata and Carpio up front. Kaleem's back there helping out. And we're going to see the corner from the right-hand side, and there's a whole host of players in and around Jake Feener. So Roughnecks need to defend well here, be brave.
Left-footed in-swinger comes in. It's there, and it's slammed into the back of the net. And is it Tierpak one more time? It is. Tierpak has the brace and extends the lead back out to 2 on a ball that was played in from the corner by number 45, Ayrton.
Scored by number 50.
And Tierpak has the brace.
Well, let's have a look at it again. Here's the corner from Ayrton, and there is Tierpak from what, 4 yards out?
4 yards out, just stepped right in front of Schaefer, or excuse me, of Espinoza.
And, well, I don't want to be critical, but...
And it looked like Espinoza was just flat-footed there.
Yeah, I think there were a few there flat-footed, weren't there? And, you know, it's one of those soft goals that we've talked about all season. So the Roughnecks now 3-1 down. And, well, you don't want to hand it to Swope Park. I'm sure Los Dos fans are tuning into this.
Generato back to Ray. And Ray's ball plays off of one of the defenders, and this will be a ball for the Roughnecks, actually a corner for the Roughnecks, and Carpio now will head over to take this one for the home side.
Well, this would be nice if, having just defended badly from a corner, they can now put one in at the other end. But
Quarter comes in, pops up back to Ray Lee. And Lee just kind of dumps that one towards Zach Lubin, and it's over the byline for a goal kick.
And their Pop, I'm afraid, is a little bit of a difference. So that ball was on the 6-yard line, and Jidic was there to clear it. And, you know, nobody should get free headers or shots inside the 6-yard box. But Jidic was there. 2-1. I'm always the optimist. Next goal from the Roughnecks, and it's game on again. But, you know, it's a long way back.
Tierpak. Brilliant ball in. Dane Kelly was there. And Dane almost was able to save that one over the line as well. It was just one little touch there from Schaefer, but Dane Kelly showing you that speed. And again, another great ball played from Tierpak. Just the right amount of pace on it to drop right in on number 99 as he had the dead sprint onto it.
Yeah, and Dane Kelly not one to sort of just let the ball go out for a corner as it would have been. He wanted an opportunity on goal, and he shot from a narrow angle but into the side netting. But you're right, the ball was perfect, wasn't it?
Pasher saves it on the line and then continued on his run. Espinoza leaves off Pasher with the left foot. Coming over to challenge is Schaefer, and Pasher plays it off of him, and it will result in a corner kick coming up. And it looks like Espinoza now is down right there as you see the shot close to the byline. He's going to pick himself up.
Yeah, I think it was a bit of a collision between two orange-shirted players and a blue-shirted player there, and I think they all ended up on a bit of a heap. Corner to Swope, though, and 15 minutes to go to half-time. Roughnecks need one back before half-time, you feel. Here's the replay, and I think you'll see Espinoza come into the picture late. Here's the corner.
Here's the corner. Boy, Tierpak got there one more time, this time in front of Ray Lee. His header, though, went wide.
He's not the tallest player, Tierpak, is he? But he seems to win a lot in the air.
He's just feisty.
Yeah. I've known, you know, players who aren't tall to win. You know, it's good timing in the air, and he is. Yeah, and another free header there.
'31st minute. We've had some fireworks here in the first half, most of them provided by Swope Park. 3-1. Little give and go there with Chinarazzo. Sammy now. Kaleem. His first touch is a little too far out in front. Christian Duke there on the challenge. Roughnecks do save it, though, and now the diagonal ball, and it's over the top of Espinoza through a goal kick now for Swope Park and Zach Lubin.
Yeah, Roughnecks trying the short passing and then a long ball over the top. Espinoza was never going to catch that one, but it's good to see that he's still able to come forward. But his main job tonight, of course, is to keep Tyler Pasher quiet, which is no easy job.
It's one of the Green Country Chevy Dealers ball kids here at the park this evening. This is One Oak Field. Inside the Bank of Oklahoma broadcast booth, I'm Jeremy Poplin. That is Dave Saunders. In the second to last game of the season for the Roughnecks, who are currently 5-19-4 with 19 points on the season. Coming into tonight, Swope Park resting comfortably in 5th place and now have moved up into 4th. If things were to stand the way they are now.
And it should be an exciting game, by the way, on Saturday with Sacramento in town. You know, they'll be wanting to obviously win here and try and clinch first place, won't they? It's all going to be quite exciting as the games will be going on, I think, at slightly different times. Here's Kelly.
Pasher on a great ball from Kelly, and Kelly gets behind, and nice save by Feener, who comes out and slides into Dane Kelly, and off of the deflection out of bounds. And credit that one with Jake Feener coming out. He deserves all the credit for making sure that Dane Kelly stays off the board here in the 33rd minute.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Pop. You summed it up, and well done, Feener, because he needed that save, and he came out, and that's brave. That's brave goalkeeping, and Kelly again in behind the defence. Good goalkeeping. Here's the corner.
This time a low line drive. Sammy has the clearance, and then a touch around the outside. Speed all over the field, Swope Park has, from almost every single position. And that time there, we got to see just how much speed that Ayrton has, the Brazilian.
Yeah, we haven't mentioned him too much tonight, have we? But I know he scored a couple of goals late on, and just before the Roughnecks went up to Kansas City and won the game for them. And he had a good game in a 3-0 win over the Roughnecks. But we haven't mentioned him too much tonight, but he's a great, solid player, isn't he, the Brazilian? 2 Brazilians in the side, of course. Walefi being the other one, and we haven't mentioned him too much tonight, but he hasn't had too much to do in the centre of the field, has he?
Nah, he just picked himself up off of the turf here at One Oak. Nice ball played forward. Tierpak gets to it, cuts it back to the inside, looking there for Dane Kelly, and tracking back is the defense in the proper position there to not allow that ball that's cut back and played back inside the middle. And you see Schaefer there kind of leaning on Dane Kelly. Probably had a few words for him there. Like, hey, can you maybe give me a step or two head start? The corner one more time. This time they'll go short with Tierpak. And out to race and take that one away is Espinoza. Good job from Espinoza. Centrally from Mata. Mata now plays to Carpio. Carpio settles it with the touch. Still on his foot. Pulls it back now. To the inside, Martinez. Martinez finds Ochoa. Ochoa settles that bouncing ball to the outside for Chinarato. Square ball back to Sammy. Martinez. Back line. Across midfield. Devin Morgan and Sammy Ochoa. Back and forth they go. And then Sammy, I guess, expected a run there from Mata. Was going to be the closest one in the vicinity. And Mata curled off his run. That one easily picked off by Zach Lubin here in the 36th minute.
Swope were very organised there to get back and defend, weren't they? And, you know, they are a good side. They're not in 4th place currently for nothing. You know, they're a good side going forward. They're solid at the back. And, you know, they deserve to be where they are. Roughnecks still fighting, but still 3-1 down.
That's Lubin. Kaleem, who you have mentioned, has picked up his play over the last several weeks. You have been on the road with this team.
A very nice guy, Kaleem, and as I've said on the broadcast, Pop, he loves his game of cricket. Of course, we had a good chat about cricket, and Kaleem is a pretty good cricket player, so he tells me.
We've got several cricket fans on the team.
Yes, yeah.
That is a game that you will have to teach me a little bit more about.
All right.
I would love to learn more. Here's Pasher. Boy, look at the pace. Another brilliant ball across the mouth of the goal. Dane Kelly just couldn't get there in enough time. However, Swope Park saves it. Here's Tierpak. Back to Meyer. To the outside now. Tierpak battling against 2 Roughnecks, and that will be a foul against Chris.
That's good from Ray Lee, coming back from the central midfield player there. An unsung hero for the Roughnecks. Does a lot of work in the middle. Of course, he started the season at left back, and he's kind of had to fill in, for, you know, into the central midfield, the left of the centre of 2 with Martinez tonight. But good defending from Ray Lee there. Yeah, Kaleem flicked the ball on there, and the defender, I think it was Jidic there, just blocked off Christian Mata there, and well seen by Mr. Weiss, the referee. Free kick to the Roughnecks in a dangerous spot, Pop.
Absolutely. As we'll see here, right there, just kind of hooking him there a little bit, not allowing Mata to complete that turn around him. And I believe that foul there was, on Jidic, and he was the one that actually created the PK earlier for Tulsa that enabled Ochoa to score their first goal. Here's Carpio. 28 yards out, a blast from Carpio. He tries the near post. Lubin had it covered up and was able to secure the rebound as well in front of Christian Mata.
That was a good idea from Carpio, because that can catch a keeper unawares. Zach Lubin made a good save, but Carpio hitting that one pretty well.
Walefi, as you see the replay, Mata had to duck underneath that one.
Which also makes it difficult for a keeper, doesn't it?
Took a little bit of a dip. Christian Dukes, ball unable to find its intended target. Now Sammy. Just kind of misplays there on the first touch. Lubin has to get rid of this one quickly. Is that one off of Pasher or is that one off of Espinosa? Referee was pointing towards the assistant. The assistant now finally makes a call in favor of Swope Park. We have played 39 minutes with Swope Park leading 3-1.
It's very difficult there. Pasha's been had up for handball. That's one of my pet hates of the game at the moment, is every time the ball hits the hand, free kick seems to be given, and I didn't think his arm was in an unusual position. I think he's very unlucky there. Anyway, free kick to the Roughnecks, but a yard inside the Swope Park half.
Schaefer, and his ball finally brought down as Martinez tried to have a go. Walefi steps in front. Diagonal ball for Tierpak, and even speedy Chris Tierpak can't get there in enough time as it hits off the Bank of Oklahoma side. We are inside the Bank of Oklahoma broadcast booth here at One Oak Field. Game number 29 of the season for Tulsa. Unlucky there. Mata could not get to it in enough time as Carpio was looking to find him. And there's some contact right at the edge of the center circle as Duke went down, the captain for the Rangers.
Yeah, we haven't mentioned Christian Duke too much either. The central two are doing what they've got to do for Swope Park.
Schaefer one more time. Great diagonal ball. It's Chinarazzo looking for Kaleem inside the box, unable to fit that one in. And now a foul from Ray Lee in front of the Roughnecks bench. We've played 41 minutes here inside One Oak. See on the replay there. You can become a fan of the USL on Facebook for exclusive news and interactive content. Or the USL has social media covered for you. You can follow them on Twitter as well to keep up with all the live action during the 2016 USL season. Their Instagram feed is great. They're at USL Soccer on Instagram to see match highlights and action shots from games around the USL. And Carpio there with just what we talked about, with being able to drop back and help a little bit in the proper form, something that you called out earlier in the broadcast.
Well, I guess I've done it myself when I used to play. I mean, I used to play wide on the left, and sometimes, you know, I didn't want to get back and help out my left back pot. But, you know, having played at left back as well, it's infuriating if you don't get the help and you've got two players coming at you. So well done to Carpio there. Let's be positive. That was good defending from him.
Here's Ayrton. Tierpak gets to it one more time with the first touch. Second touch, however, goes to the Roughnecks on the clearance. Back out to Tierpak. Turns and spins. Has some help here in the center of the pitch. It's Ballo. And good effort there from Chinarazzo. Forward for Martinez, or excuse me, Mata. Mata now sprays to the outside for Carpio. Carpio has a little bit of space in front of him. Carpio now, good ball played in, and that was Kaleem who tried the side volley there on the one time and puts that one into the stands. And Kaleem with his best opportunity here in the first half.
What a great move from the Roughnecks, ending up with a brilliant cross from Carpio. And I don't blame Kaleem for having a go. Here's the replay. Here's Carpio's close shot there. And, you know, there's the volley. I guess Pop, if he had the time again, he could have brought that down and had a decent shot. But I don't blame the young man for trying to score the goal of the season.
Yeah, what a goal that would have been. See how much stoppage time is added here in the next couple of moments as Ochoa hits the turf. A few words back and forth there with Ochoa and Alvarado. Sammy now with Walefa.
No action from the referee.
We'll
Well,
see here on the replay.
yeah.
Yeah, that's Walefi, and then you see there Alvarado that just came flying in. Sammy almost dumped our center official as well. He got kind of tangled up in it as he tried to help Sammy Ochoa before he fell down. Foul was called well in advance of that. Mata now saves it before it goes over the touchline. Trying one little touch there around the outside edge. Carpio now battling for it. Mata ends up with it one more time to Espinoza. Oh, Espinoza's center ball is cut down here. Missed chance on the pass from Espinoza. Roughnecks, however, though, have an opportunity here to maintain a little bit more possession. Christian Duke's ball is hit down from Martinez, and now another great ball inside the box from Martinez. He is so good at those balls from the back line. Carpio, left-footed cross is there. Kaleem just over the top of Kaleem. Oh, Kaleem needed to be about 2 more inches tall to be able to get to that one, and he might have had a goal on the evening.
Could have been a corner there, but the most important thing, Carpio's put in a couple of great crosses. We're going to see a replay here. There's the left-footed ball into the box. Was there a touch off the defender?
That's
Difficult
close.
one,
Yeah,
close.
difficult there from Meyer. We've got 3 minutes that has been added to stoppage time in the first half.
But
Court furniture, by the way, has played a key role in making the Tulsa Roughnecks players feel at home while they're here in Tulsa. Court furniture there when you need it and gone when you don't.
well done, Carpio, though. Great crossing from the young man, and that could be a potent weapon in the second half.
And well done, Martinez, for finding Carpio.
Yes.
That's 2 great balls from the back line.
Rayleigh's had his foot up there, says the referee. Referee's been on top of play tonight. I mean, literally, hasn't he? With
Yes,
when
he
Sammy
has.
went over. But you know, to be fair, that's where you want the referee, isn't it? As long as they don't get in the way and they can call things, not from 50 yards away.
Swope Park trying to probe and see if they can get one more on the board here before halftime. Roughnecks trying to keep them out of the back of the net. Here's Duke around the outside. Good recovery there from Isaiah Schaefer. It is a corner now for Swope Park, but pretty impressive first step on the recovery there and the explosion from Isaiah Schaefer to get to Christian Duke.
Yeah, and Christian Duke, you know, he's sitting in the, you know, as one of the middle two tonight in the 4-2-3-1, but he got forward there very well, and of course he got the first goal in that 3-0 win, and he was pretty much inside the 6-yard box on 3 minutes, so we know he can get in there. I think that might well do it, Pop. That's going to be a goal kick, and I think that'll be
That should be
half-time.
just about close. That was the center back that was up. Gidic up off of his back line and called his name a couple of times here this evening, not only for the penalty, but he tends to push forward as well, trying to get that big frame up there, giving them another target. Carpio being harassed by Pasher, and Speedy Pasher ends up winning that one, but loses control. Throw in now. Espinoza has to go quickly. Good turn from Mata. Ooh, Mata's ball is driven towards the back post and just whizzed by.
Yeah, it was tricky play from Mata there.
That would have been an incredible angle from Mata. Watch this turn. And then hardly any movement on that driven ball. And that will do it for the first half.
Well, you'd have to say that probably 2 out of the 3 goals have been what we call soft goals. But it's been entertaining, if nothing else. And, you know, a rousing team talk from the manager now. The Roughnecks come out and get the next goal, and suddenly, Pop, we've got a very exciting evening. So I'd advise people, if you couldn't get down here tonight, you're listening to us, don't go away, because this could end up, you know, any score, really, but the Roughnecks do need to get the next goal.
I'd like to thank all of you for watching live and on YouTube. Don't forget, all matches are available live, free, and in HD on YouTube. Follow the action on the USL YouTube channel. There's Tierpak. 7 goals on the season, 2 of them here this evening. He has a brace in the first half, and at halftime, the Swope Park Rangers from KC trying to improve their record on the night and stay inside the top 4 for a home playoff game, as they have already clinched a playoff spot, lead 3-1 over the Tulsa Roughnecks. Stay tuned here on the radio side. We'll bring you our halftime show coming up next. This is Tulsa Roughnecks Soccer on your home for the Roughnecks, 1300 The Buzz. And off of the back line, dangerous situation there, and there's an early goal. And look who it is one more time. It's
and follow on Twitter for league news, interactive content, and have a chance to win exclusive giveaways. And remember that all USL regular season and playoff games are available live, free, and in high definition on YouTube. Connect with the USL YouTube channel today. Visit the new USLsoccer.com. Get the latest news and live stats, and check out the new social media hub. And it's time for the Bank of Oklahoma Kick for Cash. Justin, who are tonight's contestants?
All right, Kirk, I got some good contestants down here tonight. Closest to the Budweiser Terrace out here, I have my man Charles over here. And to my left, near the roustabouts, I have Tori, and we're about to play the Bank of Oklahoma Kick for Cash. Each contestant has 30 seconds. We got 5 soccer balls. Whoever scores the most goals in the shortest amount of time is going home with $50 cash, courtesy of the Bank of Oklahoma. Then they're going to come over here for one more big money kick. They can go for the big goal for only $100, or they can go for the small goal for an additional $200. Roughnecks Nation, you guys ready for this? Tori, Charles, you guys ready to go? All right, let's get us ready, Tori. All right, on your mark, get set, go, and they're off. The first one is there. Charles went left. Tori's a little wide on that one. Charles got his first. Tori's got her first. Looking good. Come on, Tori. You got to speed it up a little bit. Looking good, looking good. Let's see. She's got her first. I guess the other one went wide. We are 1-1 right now. Charles got his second. Tori's got number 2 right here. Let's see. He's got. We are 2-2. This is it. Oh, Tori just a little bit wide. That means Charles, that's you, my man. Come on down here this way. That's all right, Tori. Good try, good try. All right, Charles is coming down this way. He's got $50 so far, courtesy of the Bank of Oklahoma, as he's making his way down here. Charles, you got lucky. She had one ball left, just went a little wide on that one. All right, so I got $50 for you right now. Now, the real question, do you want to go for the big goal for an additional $100, or we can take that smaller goal out there for $200? What do you want to do?
Let's do the big one.
We're going to go for the big goal. All right, JJ, get out of the way. Charles is going to be knocking it in here. All right, don't worry about him. Fire away whenever you're ready. And the kick. Oh, my goodness. A little too much spin on that. That's all right. Hey, $50 for you right there, courtesy of the Bank of Oklahoma. Let's give it up for my man Charles right here, and Tori. That is the Bank of Oklahoma Kick for Cash. Great job, guys.
Nike is a proud partner of the USL. Follow at Nike Soccer on Twitter for all the latest Nike Soccer information. Fans, it's time for the El Guapo's Mexican Cantina Dizzy Punt. Here's Justin to introduce our contestants.
All right, Kirk, down here with me today, I got Seth and I got Casey. This is very, very simple. This game is hilarious. We're going to put these guys right over here. They're going to spin around 10 times, get nice and dizzy, and they're going to try to punt the ball as far as they can and try to win some prizes from El Guapo. Seth, you ready for this? All right, Seth, let's get down, get ready. On your mark, get set, go. And he's off here, looking good, good form. That's number 1. He's got 2. Seth's a big, tall guy, so it's tough getting down there. That's 3. I'm getting dizzy watching him. Come on, Roughnecks Nation, let's hear it for him. That's 4. Looking at number 5 right here, looking good. Oh, he's getting dizzy. Number 6, oil, he's falling all over. 1 more, 7, 8, 9, and here it is, 10. All right, drop that bat right behind you over here. Grab that soccer ball, pick it up, give it a big old kick. Oh, he's getting dizzy. Come on, give it a big old kick right now. Do it up. Oh, into the camera guy. He got a good kickoff though, Seth. That's pretty good. Not bad, not bad. All right, Casey. Tough act to follow there. You ready for this? All right, he says he's ready. Boomer Sooner, ready? On your mark, get set, go. In his grass skirt right there. That's number 1. Number 2. 3. Looking good, looking good. Keep it going, keep it going. 4. That's 5. 6. I'm getting dizzy watching these. 7. 8. 9. 10. All right, pick up that ball right there. Looking good, looking good. Pick it up, give it a big old kick. Let's see what we got. And it's off. Tyson's that mark. What do we got, Tyson? Is it past you? I think it was. That means Casey's going to be our winner. Congratulations, my man. You are going home with some gift cards courtesy of El Guapos. And because Casey won, that means everyone in section 103, we're coming around with some prizes for you guys as well. Let's give it up for Casey and Seth right here. The great job in tonight's El Guapos Dizzy Punt Contest. Great job, guys.
Fans, please direct your attention. Fans, please direct your attention to the video board for tonight's fan announcement. The Roughnecks extend a special welcome to one of the Roughnecks youth affiliates, Westside Alliance Soccer Club. WSA is coming off a successful spring season with the WSA 97 boys, WSA 97 girls, WSA 01 boys, WSA 98 girls, all represented Tulsa at the Region 3 Championships. These teams make WSA the most respected club in the Tulsa area. Thank you all for celebrating with us here at One Oak Field. And now, once again, here's Justin with details about the rest of this evening and the Roughnecks' next home match.
Yeah, that's right, Kirk. Fans, don't forget, it's a Thirsty Wednesday tonight. That means dollar beers. We got Bud and Bud Lights out there right underneath the scoreboard over there. Those OU and OSU tents over there. And then at the main concession stands, you can get dollar soda. So make sure you guys take advantage of that all night long. Plus, in the team store tonight, it's 30% off Roughnecks gear in there tonight. And if you spend $15 or more, we're giving you a free scarf. Only today, so make sure you guys go in there right behind section 102 on the concourse over there behind the rig. Go over there and check out the team store over there. And don't forget to hang around after tonight's match. The guys are going to be coming around, signing autographs and taking pictures and saying hello. They love meeting our fans. So make sure you guys stick around for that after tonight's match. Then Saturday, unfortunately and sadly, it is the season finale. But we got a ton of fun going on. It's starting at 4:30 out on Elgin. We got the Roughnecks Rally tailgate going on out there. We're going to have a face painter, balloon artist, artists, all sorts of activities for the kids. It's an all ages tailgate over there. The roustabouts are going to be tailgating, so much fun, so make sure you guys come on out. And gates are opening at 6:30. Check this out right over here. The first 1,000 fans, it's the captain night, it's Sammy Ochoa night, are going to get one of these t-shirts right here. So get here early at the Arvison Old Eric entrances, because the first 1,000 fans are going to get a Sammy Ochoa t-shirt. Tyson, spin around, show them the back of that. The Ochoa on the back. It's the captain night. Plus, not only t-shirts that night, Sacramento Republic coming in, and it's a fireworks show. What a way to end the 2016 season. So get your tickets now. We want to see you guys come on out on Saturday night and have some fun with your Tulsa Roughnecks right here at One Oak Field. All right, guys, that's all I got. We're about to throw some t-shirts over here in just a minute, so you guys got to get loud in just a few.
The Roughnecks thank Two Works for You and 106.9 K-Hits for sponsoring tonight's match. The Tulsa Roughnecks are proud to have these fine sponsors helping us put on tonight's match. Thanks again to Two Works for You and 106.9 K-Hits. Roughnecks fans, get on your feet and get loud for the Mark Miller Buick GMC t-shirt toss!
That's right, Roughnecks Nation. Let's hear you guys. Come on, who wants a t-shirt here? I gotta hear you. Sounding good, sounding good. They're dropping them down from up above, too. Look behind you guys over there. Keep it going. Come on, let's hear you. They're sounding good. They're sounding good. We got a couple more, couple more. All right, I got one more left right here. One more left right here. We got any more? We're looking good. That t-shirt toss was brought to you by our good friends over at Mark Miller Buick GMC.
Now direct your attention to the video board for information about this Saturday's promotion at One Oak Field.
All right, welcome back as we get set for the second half here at One Oak. Roughnecks have changed sides. They will now be moving from right to left on your radio dial. Thank you for those of you listening in on 1300 The Buzz and also here on YouTube, where you can catch all of the games live, free, and in HD on the USL YouTube channel. I'm Jeremy Poplin. Dave Saunders joins me inside the Bank of Oklahoma broadcast booth here in downtown Tulsa, Oklahoma at One Oak Field.
Well, no more soft goals. I'm sure David Irvin has said to the Roughnecks, and I'll say again, you know, at 3-1, it's an obvious thing to say. If Swope were to get the next goal 4-1, that's an absolute mountain to climb. And if Tulsa can get the next goal, suddenly Lowestow's fans become interested, and, you know, it's game on, Pop. So can the Roughnecks get the next goal of the game?
Here's Espinoza from Ray Lee. Finds Mata inside the center circle. Generato had to retreat. Easy ball back with Morgan. Now ball back on the boot of Gary. Finds Ray Lee near midfield, turns and spins away. They will play this across the back line. Here's Martinez. Martinez with another driven ball, and right on a dime for Colleen. Little touch header to the outside for Generato, almost from the corner. Finds Colleen. Lutz on the touchline now, centrally. Finds Martinez. Martinez is taken off the ball there by Christian Duke. Duke forward for Dane Kelly. Dane Kelly now turns and faces up. Has Schaefer there. Kelly, nice ball played in, and running there step for step was Ray Lee. And that was a brilliant run from Ayrton through the center of the 18, and an even better ball from Dane Kelly to kind of thread the needle. Watch this ball. Wow, almost got there. You could see Ayrton, the only thing he could really do, he actually used his inside foot there, the left, just to see if he could get a little bump on it over the top of Feener, who was coming off of his line.
Yeah, and I really thought Dane Kelly was going to be one-on-one with Devon Morgan there, but he decided to thread the ball, and as you said, it was a great ball from Dane Kelly.
That was good hustle there from Generato, staying step for step with Tierpak. Cutting off any opportunity for Tierpak to head to the corner flag. One touch there, Pasher. Sliding through was Isaiah Schaefer to deny the Swope Park Rangers. Espinoza has the throw in. Down the line he goes, looking for Mata. Mata there is in a battle, and that foul and a little shove there back and forth with Mata and Mallow.
Christian doesn't mind a bit of that, does
Christian
he?
will not back away from anything.
Good to see them get on with the game then.
You know, Christian Mata has been, I think, one of the storylines of the 2016 season, with his early season and the injury that happened in training and not being fit and able to really make a true impact on the roster almost, Dave, until we got halfway through the season. And we've seen how much that the Roughnecks will rely on the combination of Mata and Ochoa, and when those two are on top of their game, they are two of the best. But it took a while for Mata to get that ankle back healthy again and be able to cut and turn and get the speed that is all a part of Christian Mata's game. And I think obviously that caused some issues early, especially for the Roughneck offense.
No, you're absolutely right, and it was great to have him back, wasn't it? And I often say from this privileged position that, you know, he gives you something different. He's a great foil for Sammy Ochoa, and he's quick. He doesn't mind having a shot from anywhere. He's can cross the ball really well, and he's just small, and he gets in between the right back and the centre back, or the left back and the centre back. He's a great little player.
Here's Chinnerazzo. Gary has a shot that's knocked down.
Chinnerazzo felt that on his right ankle or right foot.
Losing track over there was Espinoza. Pasher back to help. Now watch Pasher leak out. He's all alone there on that opposite side. If Tierpak can see him, Tierpak on a dead sprint has it now. Will Tierpak pull back? He cuts it back towards the penalty spot. Schaefer was there, and now Kaleem, not much of a clearance, just kind of skies it. And I think that's going to be a foul on Dane Kelly now.
Yeah, foul on Dane Kelly. Kaleem was back there helping out. Gary Chinnerazzo's got a bit of an issue with his foot, but bless him, he ran all the way back with Tierpak there, and I don't know whether he's got to come off, and he's running across that way, isn't he? Gonna have a chat with Kobe, Kobe's just an amazing guy, isn't he? He just gets on with the job, and when there's a guy down or not feeling well, Kobe's there with the bag of tricks, isn't he? He's just a great guy.
Kobe's a jack of all trades. Traveling secretary. I mean, if he had a business card, there wouldn't be enough room to put all of his roles on that business card. And I've been fortunate enough to call Kobe a good friend as well after that's my roommate on the road.
And you were telling me, earlier on, tell you about the rules of cricket. I sat down with Kobe and he explained a lot more about you guys' football to me, which I didn't know. So I was really pleased to have him alongside helping me.
Irla Davrin, who is on the bench tonight, who I would assume that we'll see at some point, told me he's been bitten by the American football bug. And the Irishman is excited for the opportunity to potentially go to his first American football game before he heads out of Tulsa after the season is over. Going to try to help make that happen for him.
I think the other thing to say about Dav, I had a good chat with him, and he used to play Gaelic football, which is a cross between Australian rules football, rugby and soccer. So Dav used to play that when he was younger back in Ireland. So he enjoys a physical battle, and he loves the game of football here in Oklahoma, like you say.
Swope Park comes away with it through the center of the pitch. It's Duke. Now to Alvarado, who has made an impact here, especially in the first half. We are in the 53rd minute.
Well, credit the opposition here, Swope Park, because what they're doing is I think Gary Chinnerazzo might have broken one of his cleats, boots as I would call them. But I think credit the opposition here, because they come out this second half and they're just keeping possession of the football, make it very hard for the Roughnecks to get the ball back. Really impressive from them. But that's going to be Phoenix, and I think Dav has become the boot boy here. He's going to leave them there for Gary Chinnerazzo.
Feener had to come off his line to get that directly in front of Dane Kelly, and shows you the explosiveness of Dane Kelly, because he made up some ground in a hurry to make that closer than what it initially was going to look like. And we'll have our first sub. And this is going to be for Espinoza. And this is going to be Brady Ballou.
Well, last season, Brady Ballou, as we know, played more as a sort of right winger, right midfield. But David seems to have used him more as a right back this year. So I'm sure we'll see him pushing on. But if you like, it's a straight swap. And that was a great ball from Madder to Sammy Ochoa inside the area there, but good defending. But the Roughnecks have got a corner.
That's another aspect of Mata's game that we didn't mention earlier. You talked about him being in the right spots. I think Mata has good vision as well with the forward. And look at that, yeah, just right there.
Well, the goal, here's the corner.
Hits there in the 18, now bounces out, and Ray trying to go there towards the back post. Still no real clearance there from Swope Park, and Tulsa will remain with possession. Here's Brady Ballou, and offsides there on the ball from Brady that finds Sammy Ochoa.
Well, if you remember, Pop, going back to the Swope Park at home game, you know, Swope Park ended up winning it 2-1, but we scored a very early goal in that game to go 1-up, and it was the combination between Sammy Ochoa and Christian Mata, which, you know, we've wanted to happen more this season, haven't we? But they linked up well there, just the offside flag.
There's Kelly. Ballou steps in front of Pasher. Now watch Pasher with the speed get back and all the way back. Pasher started about 7 yards behind Brady Ballou there and made up ground in a hurry to slide and tackle that ball away from Brady on the outside. Roughnecks, though, back with possession here through the center circle.
Do you know what? I'd love to see the Swope Park all have a 100-meter dash, because there's quite a few quick players in their team, isn't there?
They have some speed. And here's a giveaway over the top for Kelly. Kelly's not going to have any problem whatsoever getting to that one. Cuts to the inside, sets himself up with the left, a shot. Devin Morgan is there to knock it down. And away comes Ray Lee.
Well defended.
Lee trying to be opportunistic. That ball, not really much of a chance to make it all the way through there to Mata. Here comes Chinarazzo. Dead sprint now up past midfield. Has options to the outside. Uses Kaleem. Overlapping run now from Chinarazzo. Kaleem rewards him with the ball. And sliding through there on the tackle is number 26, Tommy Meyer, to keep it away from Gary Chinarazzo. And now we'll have a sub for Swope Park.
Yeah, Kaleem's ball just a little bit short for Gary Chinarazzo there. But good attacking signs, and we are going to see...
this is Mark Gonzalez in for Tierpak, who leaves with the brace.
Yeah, Gonzalez played extremely well up at Swope Park again, so don't think just because we're seeing the back of Mr. Tierpak that Mr. Gonzalez has not got anything, because he certainly has. Another great substitution here for Swope Park.
Well, it's been a good year for the first-year side in Swope Park, and there have been several first-year teams that have had really good years. Not only this team, but also Rio Grande Valley, and year number 1 for them. Also San Antonio, who right now is battling for that 8th and final spot inside the Western Conference.
Yeah, that win against the Roughnecks was their first win in 5, so they hadn't exactly had great form, and I think they were all relieved to beat the Roughnecks 2-0 when the Roughnecks really had the best of the first half, Pop. First 49 minutes was the Roughnecks.
Well, David Irving felt that way after their loss there earlier in the season as well. Thought that might have been a game that was definitely within reach for Tulsa to be able to pull a win out of San Antonio, and just unable to do so.
Apologise again for not having an effects mic down there. As you know, Pop, I was in this very nice air-conditioned room, but nowhere to put your microphone outside to pick up the crowd
there
noise.
was not at all. It is a sealed-up booth.
Which, again, can we just say, where we are top of the league here is our wonderful production team, all the cameramen, all the behind-the-scenes guys. Thank you so much, guys. You make our job so much easier.
Mata turns and faces, has a cut towards the byline. Good defending there, not allowing Mata to have any sort of cross leave his boot, and that has earned a corner kick now as we are in the 59th minute. Tulsa trailing 3-1 to Swope Park. Here's Carpio on the corner. Right-footed ball from Jason. Ochoa was the closest person there, and I believe this is going to be a goal kick now.
Sammy wanted a corner, but he's asking the referee.
This will be another sub now for Swope Park.
Number 92, Alex Milano, replaces number 99.
So Dane Kelly will have a seat. He leaves with a goal, and Alex Milano on the straight swap. Actually, that is not a straight swap. That is a midfielder in for Dane Kelly.
Gonzalez will go up top. And Ayer Hamilton's going out to the right, it looks like. So Dane Kelly, 48 career goals, most in USL history. Wonderful stat as well. Thanks, guys. And Dane Kelly, a handful for any defence will be needed in the playoffs, will be an important figure in the playoffs. And of course, Swope Park currently sitting in 4th place.
Boy, the playoffs in the Western Conference are, I think, going to be fantastic. I don't think that there's really especially in the top 4, I don't think there's a whole lot that separates the top 4 from each other. It is truly anyone's. Well, it is up for grabs.
We'll get a good look at Sacramento at close quarters because they're in town. Looking forward to that with my old friend Paul Buckle, the coach, coming into Oklahoma. But I know David Irvin is very determined to spoil that party here on Saturday.
And what a win that would be to close out 2016 if they could find a way against Sacramento. Still a lot of time left in this one, though. 61st minute. Tulsa has to find a way to pull back within 1. I've had a couple of opportunities, but it's the goal by Sammy Ochoa on the PK that has put Tulsa on the board. Nice move there from Carpio.
Carpio's had one of his better games offensively, hasn't he, tonight, than I've seen. So well done to him.
Might talk a little bit, Dave, about someone that's as young as Carpio is, coming from Guatemala, where it's a different style of football, into America, being young the way he is. You can see the type of touch that he has in space. Maybe at times, maybe a little bit guilty of taking too many touches is young Carpio. But it is a different world when you come from Guatemala and the style compared to the American style. I mean, we are a physical, fast bunch that are here in America. And it takes some time for younger guys to kind of get their base underneath them and to adjust to the style that they see in a different country.
Yeah, he's a very nice young man, very quiet. And as you say, on the field, wonderful touches, wonderful skill, as we've just seen there. And it will take time to bed in, you know, and I hope he finds his career here in the States. But it is a different game, isn't it? And it's, you know, like when people go over to England or Scotland and they play, you know, it's a different game there as well. So they're all different styles. You have to adapt. And he's done pretty well. And he's been on the bench a lot this season, but he's doing well tonight.
Trying to find Pasher there on the outside. There is Pasher, and Pasher's going to be off. They were trying to set that one up there, and Ballou just took that one little step forward there. Got to play off of Pasher, and he got caught.
Well, dare I say it, you know, we've defended much better in the second half. You know, okay, it's 3-1 at half-time, and it's still 3-1, 63 minutes gone. But, you know, we've defended better in this second half than we did certainly in the first.
Yeah.
But as I'll say again, you know, the next goal is so important to the outcome of this game.
Here's Carpio.
Kaleem's another one I think you could put into that.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right about that. I was just going to mention that Kaleem, you could almost put in that exact same category as Carpio. And I know Kaleem was in the States last year with Sacramento, but there was not very much playing time up with the Republic at all, as Gonzalez is caught in the offsides position here.
No, that's right. He's adapted well, and of course, you know, later on in this last, I haven't got the stats in front of me, but he started quite a few of the last few games. Bit surprised he hasn't played on the right tonight. He normally likes to be a bit more flexible. He's played on the left.
Generato's cross headed out of the box. Down the right-hand side now, leaves it there, and that's unlucky there for the Roughnecks, but Ray Lee back in a help position as that one's taken off of Milano, who had just checked in for Swope Park.
It was good defending from Devon Morgan, wasn't it? And helped out well by Ray Lee. And that's what we said in the first half. You know, Rayleigh's a midfielder, and he's come back and helped out his central defender there in the left-back position. That's teamwork, isn't it?
Deep from the corner. This will be a throw-in now. Blue has a little bit of extra space now on the opposite end of the advertising billboards that are down there. This one kind of bouncing around inside the 18, finally brought down. It's Ray Lee. One simple touch to the outside. Chinarazzo's cross is handled easily by Zach Lubin. Lubin hasn't been under duress much here in the second half here at One Oak.
Yeah, good goalkeeping from Zach Lubin. We know what a quality keeper he is from his time here. But well done, Chinarazzo again. Playing at left back, getting down there in the left wing position, putting in a good cross. And Mato was closing in on Lubin there, but just couldn't get there ahead of him.
Lubin, of course, started the majority of the games here early last season for Tulsa before ultimately being replaced by Jake Feener. And Roughnecks got hot there towards the end of last season. And I think a lot of that was momentum that kept Jake Feener in the net.
Substitution coming in the 67th minute.
And another
For
thoroughly
Swope
nice
Park,
guy, Zach
number
Lubin, of
38,
course.
Akil Barrett replaces number 77, Tyler Pasher.
So Pasher is out and Barrett in for Swope Park. Well, I've been so impressed with Tyler Pasher every time that I've seen him so far this season.
Absolutely.
This will be the third time that I've seen Swope. You've seen them the last time they played up in Kansas City on the 10th.
Oh,
And it seems like every time he gets better.
yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. And those two kill you on the wings. I mean, they're just so quick, as we alluded to in the commentary earlier on. So good to see the back of them, but they've got depth in the squad. So not much respite for the left and right back of Tulsa here.
Milano's corner headed out. Ayrton. Ayrton inside the 18 has a go towards the far post and just missed. Boy, just skimmed by as Feener's outstretched arms were there.
Well, I think that's Ayrton's first shot of the night, but it just shows what he can do in a split second there. That was a driven ball across goal and just wide of the left-hand post. You know, another quality player. And we say again, they've got a great squad, Swope Park, and of course, you know, difficult to play against, obviously. But here come Tulsa again.
You can keep up to date with the USL all season long by visiting the new USLsoccer.com for everything you need to know about the USL and its 29 teams. Adding a few more teams to that mix next season. Proud to welcome Reno into the league.
And we think a little bit more travelling pot. Maybe.
Back to a more of a style, at least, that we saw in year number 1 here for Tulsa inside of USL. There's Ochoa to Mata. Mata trying to get that ball across. Knocked down there by the defense. Here's Chinarazzo cutting with the left foot, and his cross comes off of Ayrton, and that will mean a corner now for Tulsa as he slaps hands with Kaleem. Good work there from Gary.
Yeah, wouldn't it be nice if Tulsa now slam one in here and make it 3-2 and set us up for a great last 20 minutes?
Here's the corner, Carpio, and Lubin uses that big frame, easy for Zach.
Yeah, 6'5", easy. Got his arms around that one.
Here's Lubin on the ball, back to him. Chinarazzo headed that one down from midfield. Swope Park is kind of taking some of the air out of the ball and trying to maintain a little bit more possession here. Smart thing to do from them. Here's Milano, Walefi. Back is Carpio, and in a help situation, Alvarado.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing a professional job, aren't they, Swope? You know, they're making the substitutions. Here's the fourth one, you know, and they're taking the sting out of the game. And they know that if Tulsa has a sniff at goal and gets the next goal, you know, it's game on. But if they can just kill it off and maybe get another one, you know, game over, and they stay in fourth place at the end of the night. And then if they can win their last home game, they're guaranteed, aren't they, in that top four? So they're doing things in the way that they would like them to go at the moment.
Walefi is out, and Tomas Granito.
Another fine player who came on in the three.
They just come in waves at you.
Yeah, I was impressed with him when he came on. Sat in the midfield, calmed things down, kept them going forward, tidied up. That's out from Kaleem.
Unlucky there from Kaleem. Kaleem's kind of beside himself right now, as Meyer takes the throw in.
Well, 19 minutes to go. And, you know, still time for the Roughnecks. They've got to keep probing here. Nothing to lose, as we know. But they've got to get in behind this defence. And we need one of those, you know, Martinez balls over the top that we saw in the first half, really, would be probably the best way.
There's only just a couple of guys that are up and active for the Roughnecks now off of the bench. This was a relatively short bench tonight for the Roughnecks. And outside of Hunter Harrison, who's the other goalkeeper on the roster, there's only 4 available subs. I'll tell you, Gary has had one of his better games of the season here tonight. Kept fighting and kept that ball alive. And here's Ray Lee. Good cross from Ray Lee. Defender was in the proper position to keep that one away from the Roughnecks and heads it outside of the box. And here's Ayrton. And a giveaway. Ochoa slots it there almost for Carpio.
Do you know what? I think there's still hope here, Pop. You know I'm an optimist. But they're really probing here, the guys, and I think there's going to be another good opportunity in a minute.
Yeah, Kaleem. And maybe this is it for Sammy. Sammy spinning away off of Alvarado. And Carpio now will have an opportunity at another corner. And this will be the final sub, I believe, for Swope Park.
For Swope Park, number 23, Emmanuel Apia.
Apia.
Replaces number 32, Christian Duke.
For Christian Duke.
I think Bryce Taylor is warming up vigorously over there, and I think he'll come on possibly for Carpio. I mean, he likes to throw him on the right-hand side, right wing. Bryce, the local boy, of course, and I think that'll be the next swap.
Admiral Sportswear is the official sportswear provider of the Tulsa Roughnecks. In addition to the official team kits, also look for other Admiral products here at One Oak Field. There's Apia. Duke, the captain. And the ball from Carpio. Oh, bounces free there. And here comes Swope Park on the counter. Generato has to get back in a hurry. Well done there from Gary.
Well, he's a man that's very, very positive, extremely fit and conditioned, and will, you know, relishes having a shirt and having a start. You know, he just gives his all, Gary. And, you know, I love him to bits. He's really a great guy to talk to as well off the field, as you know, Pop.
Devin Morgan finds Isaiah Schaefer. Schaefer's ball. Stepped in front of. The aggressive Devin Morgan there. That was a diagonal ball looking for Gonzalez. Here's Mata. Mata there got kind of caught in no man's land, was surrounded there by 3 Swope Park players. And now Swope will elect to try to eat some of this time away. We are approaching 75 minutes played. Tulsa still trailing 3-1. Desperately trying to find that next goal. Hoping to set up a frantic final few moments here, final 15 minutes. If they can just get that next one.
Yeah, too heavy from Carlos there, and he's holding his hand up to the coach and saying, sorry, coach.
Case & Associates is your home for the Roughnecks players when they're not on the pitch, and you can look to Case for your apartment needs. You can find Case & Associates online at caseusa.com.
Well, you've got to admire the Roughnecks in this second half. You know, they've really stuck at the task against a professional team that obviously just want to go away with the 3 points, and you know are a great side, and you know one of the better ones we've seen at One Oak. But the Roughnecks, you know, they've nothing to play for, and you know they're really taking this game to Swope. And that's Sammy Ochoa with a tremendous effort and a brilliant save from Lubin.
An absolutely fantastic save.
Sammy Ochoa, you know, he obviously plays, you know, both feet, doesn't he? He prefers his right, but that just shows what a great scorer he can be. But I'm sure Zach Lubin will give him a little wink then and say, I was too good for you there, Sammy.
Yeah, we'll see on the replay here. Yeah, Lubin just got a piece of it to send it over the top of the bar. Great goalkeeping from Zach.
He's done well tonight.
He has.
Yeah.
He has done well. That's offsides.
Yeah.
On Mata.
Yeah. Christian Mata cutting a frustrated figure. Got the goal in Utah, didn't he? But hasn't had too much of a sniff at goal. Had one shot in the first half, but he would dearly love to slot one home.
Mata's had some brilliant moments in this season. 2 goals there in Arizona that sparked a Roughneck win.
And of course, was honoured with the Christian Mata bobblehead pop, which I know you proudly display in your studio, don't you?
I do.
Sammy Ochoa giveaway shirts on Saturday. Seen some of those being worn by the staff tonight.
Well, you can tell this is a youthful bunch that Swope has brought onto the field.
Yes.
But extremely talented. You just look at Barrett there, and there's Granito, who came in.
And now we've got a hamstring injury. I'm just seeing
It's Schaefer.
Schaefer that's gone down there, unless it's just a bit of cramp. Let's hope it is.
Might be. It's a little warm this evening.
And Jake Feener's waving on Kobe. Kobe enjoyed his time down in San Antonio. He's got some family down there, so he's able to catch up with them, which is good for him. But you see him just carrying stuff around down here, and he's just an amazing guy.
We actually went to dinner with him, with his family on the first trip to San Antonio. Lovely to meet them. You know, it's pretty amazing, and Kobe's calling for the sub right now as Schaefer is down. There's the Green Country Chevy dealer Ball Kids from Change Life Soccer. By the way, Green Country Chevy dealers, you can head to your local Green Country Chevy dealer and take home the new face of Strong, the 2016 Silverado 1500. And there's Schaefer that was immediately grabbing the back of that leg.
And that will be a sore leg for him and a sore miss for the Roughnecks. David Herman must be thinking, what on earth have I done wrong? Because, you know, that's the central defender, and we look around now, and I guess Gary Chenaratsu's going to go in there. Espinoza can play centre-back because he's been substituted. So I'm guessing that, you know, looking over there to see, is it Bryce that's going to come on? I think, unless Ray Lee can play back there, of course, in the centre-back position. But David hasn't made it. Well, Bryce Taylor's coming on now.
For Tulsa, number
Poor old
15,
Schaefer, he's had a
Bryce
great run
Taylor
of games, and I
replaces
think you
number
witnessed,
16,
was it Schaefer that you
Isaiah
witnessed
Schaefer.
his debut on the 0-0 draw? That
I did,
Yeah,
yes.
it was, wasn't it?
Yep.
Got off the bus and was playing, wasn't he? Down in, well, he's limping away there. It's definitely a hamstring. We'll see who it is. Here's the corner. And I think Ray Lee's gone in there, Pop. Ray Lee will go into centre-back alongside Devon Morgan. And Sammy Ochoa's gone into the central midfield. That's an offside. So it looks like Sammy's gone in there with Martinez. Or is it Martinez and Carpio? No, Sammy's gone further up now. So Martinez and Carpio, the central midfield two.
This one all the way back from Feener finds Lubin. We're in the 81st minute now. Tulsa trying to find one more goal to pull back within one. That's a foul on Ochoa. Been impressed with Alvarado tonight as well for Swope Park.
Yes, he's a good defender, very solid, but he, as we know from especially the first half, he's been a bit more conservative in the second, quite rightly so at 3-1 up. He's a very good attacker down that left-hand side.
Ballou inside the 18. They leave it there outside the arc, and that one just missed. Shot from distance there from Granito. And Ballou banged into Gonzalez, and those two were hacking away at it there. Gonzalez ended up, nice little pullback and good vision there to leave it for Granito, and maybe Tomas should have finished that one. Oh, unlucky there. Bryce Taylor would have been ready to run on the ball from Mata.
Roustabouts doing their best to rouse things here in the last 8 minutes. And they, of course, come up with their man of the match. I think early shout for Gary Chenaratsu.
Here's Swope Park. And that's offsides on Gonzalez.
Well, the back four's done really well in the second half, you know, pushing up a little bit more and letting the Swope Park attackers run. Now there's an injury to a Swope Park player, but, you know, it's been much better, much more organised, Pop, in the second half, and it's just squeezed the play a little bit more. And I think the Swope Park player is going to need some treatment there because he's lying on his back. So
he's rubbing almost the exact same area that Isaiah Schaefer was. Is that Alvarado? I believe it might be.
I think you're right. Interesting conversation with our friends and colleagues from Swope Park before the game. And, you know, I was saying we were discussing their 3-0 win down at Oklahoma City. And one of the things they pointed out, of course, was that one of the lads on loan down there is Campanoli, who couldn't play in that game, which obviously upset the rhythm of the back four down at OKC, you know, but take nothing away from Swope Park. That is a fantastic result, and I told them that down at Taft. They don't give much away down there, and to win 3-0 was a very impressive result.
Nike's a proud partner of the USL. You can follow at Nike Soccer on Twitter for all the latest Nike Soccer information as Alvarado makes his way off.
0-0 between Vancouver and Oklahoma City after 11 minutes.
Yeah, just underway up at Thunderbird. That's another difficult place to go play in this league.
Yes, you went there this season, didn't you?
Yeah, we went there earlier. Played on a, I believe, a Wednesday night. Came back and played on that Sunday. in Seattle.
Yes, I remember that. That was a rough few days of travel, wasn't it? And having been with the lads, and same with Swope Park, it's a lot of travel, isn't it, for teams here in Oklahoma and Kansas City? It's a lot of travel.
That was well done by Devin Morgan. Here's Bryce. Maybe one too many dribbles there from Bryce Taylor. Finds himself back in a proper position, and that ball hammered out of play, and quickly the Roughnecks will want to have a throw in here. Mata, and that is a foul.
Well, as we often say, Pop, okay, a few soft goals given away, but the Roughnecks boys never give up, and they really are, finishing this game strong. Is there a surprise in store in the next 4 minutes? We'll wait and see. They certainly need one from this free kick if we're going to have this grandstand finish that we would lift everybody a bit here.
By the way, this has been a relatively clean game as well, played between these two sides. Ball for the back post, headed out of the box. Ayrton takes a tumble, and the assistant's flag waves, and
didn't think it was too much in that, but I think, these days I think the referee's got to give a foul there, and I think the assistant referee had his flag up. I think the referee just sort of says, well, I've got to see if there's any way that we can carry on, but there wasn't. So I think correct decision.
we'll see on the replay here.
Yeah,
a little
nudge.
Little nudge there from Mata. '88th minute. We will see how much time will be added. If I had to guess right now, we've had a few injuries. We had 3 in the first half. I'll call 4.
Well, you're not normally wrong, my friend.
Look at the step over moves inside the box, and just this slow dribbler that Feener. I thought Jake might have got a little piece of that one, but I guess not. But fancy footwork there from Barrett. Martinez. Relatively quiet second half for Carlos Martinez.
Yes, he hasn't seen a lot of the ball in the second half, has he?
I don't know, Dave. I might like to see a little bit more urgency here out of the Roughnecks.
Yeah. Well,
that's going to be a foul there,
yeah. Flag, yeah, slightly late on Bryce. So a chance here, Pop.
Almost a corner.
1.5 minutes. We've got to get the ball in here quickly.
Yeah, that's what Sammy ran over to try to take that ball away from Lubin.
And we might as well all go up. We have nothing, absolutely nothing to lose, apart from the risk of a breakaway for a 4th Swope Park goal. So might as well all go in there, boys.
Here's Carpio. This would make things quite a bit more interesting. Comes all the way back out to the opposite side for Ballou. Played it right off of the forehead of the defender. Brady will now have a long throw in from the opposite side. And finally the clearance from Swope Park. Devin Morgan's header. Feener quickly on the outlet, finds Ray Lee. Generato to Bryce. Bryce to Gary. Gary with the left. It's there. It's free. Open as Lubin was trying to track back. But Choa almost got to it in enough time. Quickly, Mata now tracks it down for the throw in.
Well, I would have loved a goal for Gary Generato. I have to say he's been my man of the match, and there's going to be
2 minutes.
2
Wow,
minutes.
I was off.
This morning. Here's Gary Generato, left-footed shot, great save, Lubin.
Yes.
He's produced 3 or 4 good saves tonight, but I wished Gary had, you know, got a goal there. Would you agree, Pop, that Gary Generato is?
I think that he's had one of the better games. I think of not only just tonight. I think this has been one of the better games I've seen Gary play in a while, and he has seemed to kind of fit into that role there tonight quite well. And that's one of the areas I know that David Irving had talked about in the early portion of the season as Barrett runs onto it. Feener has it. Outlet to Brady Ballou. They were, you know, wanting the outside backs to push up a little bit more, and Gary has done that here this evening.
Vancouver have taken a 1-0 lead over Oklahoma City, so they go into 5th place as it stands. Swope Park still 4th. Both of them on 45. But Swope have conceded fewer goals. The Swope are doing what any side would do in their position, professionally taking the sting out of the game. No more chances now for Tulsa. Playing out the last few seconds. They're going to walk away with the 3 points, which sets it up nicely for them to win at home on Saturday and claim that 4th spot. Tulsa will have to pick themselves up for the currently 2nd place team, Sacramento Republic, who they only play once, and that is on Saturday here at One Oak.
Ray Lee, that's a good ball settled there by Sammy. Sammy needs a little help. Leaves it back. And a weak dribbler there from Martinez that will close out the game as stoppage time has come to an end. And Swope Park comes into tonight at One Oak Field with an opportunity to set themselves up for a home game inside the USL playoffs, as they have already clinched, and they will leave out of here in 4th place.
Yes, they're in 4th place. I'm looking at the table now. It's just been flashed up there. Scored 43, conceded 36. So actually, they're 7 goals better off than Vancouver. So, you know, that's tremendous for them. And they have won their last 3 games. So and 4 out of the last 5. So really good. The Roughnecks Pop have to pick themselves up one more time for the last game against Sacramento. And let's hope that the injury to Schaefer's not too bad, or Ray Lee will find himself playing centre-back again, maybe, or perhaps David Abador might come back in, actually thinking about it.
Absolutely. Want to thank everyone that tuned in tonight on the USL Soccer YouTube channel. All the matches live, free, and in HD on YouTube. And thank you so much to the USL for allowing this opportunity to call these games. And they've done a great job on social media through Facebook, through Twitter, and at Instagram. And all of those are at USL, like on Instagram, and at USL on Twitter. Live action. And their Instagram page is one of my favorites because you get to see match highlights and action shots from all around the league. Final score, Swope Park leads the season series by actually sweeping the season series. All 4 games goes to Swope Park. And they roll out of Tulsa tonight with a 3-1 lead and head into the USL playoffs. Thank you to those of you for tuning in on the YouTube side and also for listening in on the radio side. Stick around on the radio side. We'll have our post-game show. That's coming up for you next. Here in your home for the Tulsa Roughnecks, 1300 The Buzz.
stretched out to the middle. Back to Green.
Broke it up. There's a shot. They score! They score! Gerardo Fords. It's in! Rochester has the lead. And again, it's St. Louis.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent from the United Soccer League.